Welcome to Coffee and Cocktails. Today I am going to go through my January budget wrap up. So grab a drink or a cup of coffee and let's get into it. Hi friends, I hope you're having a good start to your year. We're already 1 month in and it seems like the year's just flying by. I can't believe January's already done. And so I am sitting here with my coffee in this cute heart-shaped mug. Today I'm going to go through my January budget and goals wrap up. So first off, I like to go through the monthly reminders here at the top. So the first one was to find lower insurance, which I did. I switched to Progressive and it's like less than half the cost for the year. And so that was great. That's also one of my achievements over here, was that I was able to lower that. Business trip for 2 weeks, that's been done. Napa Valley weekend trip did not happen. I have not yet closed my Wells Fargo account, so that's going to be something that I'm going to roll over to February. So actually, let's just copy that now. And we'll just put it into February, so I remember to do that. And I did pay all of my bills before my work trip. My top goals for the month were to contribute to my Roth IRA, which you will see that I did do. And then no spend on groceries or Costco, which was another thing that I did this month, which was awesome. And then achievements, I canceled my Netflix in January. And then, like I said, lowered the insurance. Okay, so first thing that I like to do when I'm doing a month wrap up is first I start out by doing a bank reconciliation, and it's something that I do weekly just to make sure that everything I am spending, I'm actually making sure to list out in my budget here just to make sure that there's no variances. So I've already completed it and got it to balance, so everything was good there. And so then let's start by going over the income. These are just some numbers I was playing around with, so that can go away. All right, so income started out with a rollover of $26.30 from the prior month. I had my 2 paychecks come in, which were actually both a little bit more than expected by $12.17. I also had credit card rewards of $2.40. And that I believe was mostly from Discover, and then I think I had a little bit from Chase. Interest, I have a high yield savings account, and so there's about $2,000 in there right now that's just sitting there as part of my emergency fund, and so I got $7.40 of interest there. Miscellaneous, let's see what the miscellaneous was. Let's see. Miscellaneous. Oh, I got a check from an Apple settlement, and so that was $92. I sold something on Poshmark, and that was $8. And I think I had, and I also had gotten $20 from my mom that she told me to either use at the casino or use towards nails. I ended up using it towards my nails, and so that was in there. Recycling, I got $8.77, so I put $8 into my budget. The extra change I just don't include in my budget because it's just a change. I just throw it into a change jar, and then at some point I will turn that money in. And then reimbursements was $44. Majority of that was from FSA and Wellness. I had purchased, I think it was $29 for a 2-week unlimited class pass. For this like dance studio here, and then some medical items that I'd purchased like Advil and stuff like that came out of my FSA. And then I do like to roll over the last check of the month, so that'll go to my bills at the beginning of February, so I just deducted that. And so that left me with income of $55.86, so it was a little bit more than what I budgeted, so that was great. I always like to see it being more than what the budget was. Okay, and so then next, moving into the bills. Bills were pretty much on point. I think, let's see, SDG&E, which is my electric, that was about $5 less than budgeted. Everything else was right on track. I had originally, in the beginning of January, I budgeted for Netflix. But since I canceled it, I took that part out of the budget, and then obviously it was zero. And so pretty much right on track there. A little bit less just because of that extra, I guess, $5 from electric. So that was great. And I think up here, okay, so next is expenses. So my expenses were pretty low this month. A lot of that is because I was traveling for 2 weeks for work, and then when I came back, I actually had gotten a cold, and so I was sick for about 2 weeks. So I stayed home and pretty much didn't go anywhere for 2 weeks, and so that actually really helped with my spending because I wasn't out spending money or like doing anything. And so my expenses were pretty low this month, which is awesome. So I had budgeted 25 for like household consumable items, which is like toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, anything like that that gets used in the home. Durable, I had budgeted 30. And I don't think I had necessarily anything in mind for this, but because there wasn't anything I necessarily needed, but I just budgeted 30 to be safe. I had budgeted $50 for groceries just to be safe. And like I mentioned earlier, I did want to do a no spend on groceries and use up what I had in my house. But I did budget 50 just to be safe, just in case there was something I needed. But luckily I didn't spend anything on groceries. So that was a 0, which is awesome. I also budgeted 50 on dining out. I spent 35, but I still have $15 or almost $15 left. So that's perfect. I think most of this was while I was sick. I just didn't feel like cooking. And so I grabbed food, I think from, let's see, where did I go? So when I got back, I got Chipotle. That was most of it. That was $20 for burrito, chips, and soda. Picked up pizza from Little Caesars, and I think that was it. Yep, so just those 2 things. So not bad there, pretty good. So I still have, a little bit remaining. Coffee, didn't spend anything there. Transportation, nothing. Makeup and skincare, it's actually a credit because I had returned something to Ulta, and so I got a credit back of $4.47. Healthcare and medical was nothing. Hair, nails, and brows, I got my nails done, and so that was $56. And then nothing else really. Stationery, I bought something small that was like $16. So not bad there at all. And so then up here it actually has a graph of 2 different things. So this one is the actual expenses. And so it's really just these 3 categories that I spent money in. And so I like that it kind of breaks it down by category to see how much was spent as a percentage. And so out of my expenses, the biggest percentage was for my nails. But still, obviously dollar wise, it's not that much. And then I also like this file or this graph over here where it shows the budget versus actuals. So everything was pretty good in terms of budget versus actual. So income, budget, the actual was actually higher, so that's good. Bills was right on track. Expenses, actual was lower, so that's great. And then we'll get into savings, investments, and debt shortly. But overall, savings was up, investments was up, and debt was right on track. Okay, and so then we'll go into the savings. Let's see, which is right over here. Oh, and before we get into savings, I do want to just update a few things from up here. So because I lowered my insurance and I canceled Netflix, I need to update that. I have a subscription tracker, so I just need to update that before I forget. So my insurance is now biannually, and it was $440, but I'm going to put $500 just to be safe. I'd rather, have too much than not enough. And that is now on auto renewal. And let's see, changed insurance in January, so that's noted. And then Netflix canceled, so we'll take that out. I no longer have that. So that's great. I don't think there was any other changes. Nope, so that's it there. Just wanted to make sure I did that before I forgot. Okay, and so then we'll go back to January. Okay, so back to the savings and sinking fund summary. Work trips, I budgeted to save 400 or to put 400 in, which I did. I did end up spending about 163. So that leaves me with a balance of 136. I do have a work trip coming up in February. I also have one in March, and then I have 2 in April. So I will need to add more into this, but for now, 136 will at least get me through at least probably the end of February, through the February trip, because that is a short trip, and it's to Chicago, which is somewhere I've been plenty of times. So there's not necessarily a lot that I need to like purchase or any extra spending or sightseeing that I plan on doing. There is one jewelry store there that I like, so I might go there, but I think that would still cover it. But other than that, it's only, I think, 3 days that I'm there, so it's a quick trip. So I shouldn't need much for that. Auto maintenance, I put in $20 a month. I do need to schedule an oil change for February, so this will go down in February, but for now, we're just under 200. A Whole New World is my travel sinking fund. I do have a vacation coming up in April. So I think I just mentioned I had 2 work trips in April. It's not 2 work trips. One is a work trip, one is vacation. But 2 trips in April. And so one is vacation, so I'm starting to save a little bit there. The flight and hotel are already paid for, so it's just like spending money, food, excursions, and a rental car that I need to save up for. And I'll be splitting the cost for the rental car. So we'll start adding more into that in the next coming months. But for right now, just added 100. Only other thing on here, my FSA, I took that $15 out of the FSA, which I got reimbursed for up above. And so that now has $444. So total in my sinking funds is $6,000, and that includes my emergency fund, which is the majority of it. Okay, so next is the investment category, which actually I'm going to skip and come back to. We will go over to debt first. So I have 3 student loans left. I started out with almost $150,000 of debt. I am down to about $8,000 now, and it is 3 student loans. And so these are the minimum payments on them. I'm paying the minimums right now because I am prioritizing investing in my Roth IRA for 2023 so that I can do that before my time is up for that. And this first one, Fed Loan 7, the interest rate is about 6.3, but these other 2, the interest rate is so low. It's like 1.89% on them. So they're pretty low. So for me right now, it just makes more sense to put it into investing rather than paying off these debts. I do plan on coming back to this, and I do plan on them being paid off this year. But for now, for this month anyway, it's just the minimums at $126.53. Okay, so then going back to investments, I ended up putting $10 into my brokerage account, and that is because I had gotten some dividends on that account. One of my brokerage accounts is M1 Finance, and there's a certain amount you have to have in there for you to be able to reinvest the dividends. So I just added $10 so that I could invest that. So that wasn't something I was budgeting for. I didn't plan on doing that, but I mean, $10 was fine, so I just did that. And then Roth IRA, I ended up putting in $1,388.75, and I had budgeted $1,085. And if you saw my mid-month check-in, this was actually lower because I had originally thought I was going to save $440 towards insurance, and so I had it over here, but I decided to take that out and put it to my Roth IRA for now. And so I added that into the budget, and then my actual ended up being higher, and I can go through what that was. So $650 is what I put in originally, and that was like what I had originally budgeted. And then when I got that Apple settlement for $92, I put that in right away as well. I had gotten kind of like these credit card rewards from Discover, which is $1.66. I added that to my Roth. And then this is that $440 that I had taken that I was going to put towards insurance. I put it into my Roth. And then with the amount that I was depositing, I added $1.17 just to make it an even number. And so you'll see that on my Transfer Tuesday that I posted earlier this month. So I just did $1.17 just to make it, an even number. And then let's see what else. Okay, and so then I also got some credit card rewards from Chase. I sold something on Poshmark. I had that interest, and let's see, I think that wasn't it. Was that it? I had the interest, and then I had that $475 that I got back from my FSA. And so I took these items plus some more interest, and that totaled $20.94, and I decided to throw that into my Roth IRA. And then because I had less expenses in the month, I took all the leftover money that was left, which was $182.81, and I also deposited that. So on January 31st, I threw all that in there as well. And so that's what made the actual deposit to my Roth IRA of $1388.75 this month, which was great. And that was just, most of it at the end of the month was because I didn't spend in all these categories like I had originally budgeted. And so that was some leftover money. And so that went to what my current goal is, which, like I said, for this month is to put money towards my Roth IRA. And that is my 2023 IRA. Okay, and so then just going back up here to kind of the dashboard, total income was $55.86. Total bills was $34.38, which was a little less than I budgeted. Total expenses was $102.61, which was about 35% of what I budgeted. So that's great. Savings was $520, and that was more than I expected to do originally. And total invested was the $1398.75, and total debt paid was the $126.53, which is the minimum. So then the other thing I want to do is my debt tracking. Let's see. Oh, not debt tracker. Let's see. Okay, so I want to go to my debt balances and just update my balances for everything. So I have no credit card debt, I have no car debt, I have no mortgages because I don't have any real estate, but I do have student loans. And so ending the month, the balance due on this one was $2830.54. I want it to show with the decimals. Oh, there we go. Number 10 was $2165 even, and Fed student loan 11 was $2886.77. Let's just put this one up too. So that totals $7882.31, and that is all the debt I have. And so $7882.31 is what I'm ending the month with in terms of debt. So that is updated, which is awesome. Okay. And so then I want to go into my goal tracker. So I have a goal tracker where I'm tracking 5 goals at the moment. And so my first financial goal is to increase my net worth by $50,000, which if I take what it was at the beginning of the year, and add $50,000, it should be about $185,000. And then another goal is to get to 200K net worth. That is like a stretch goal. So hopefully I can make the 185 and then get up to 200. And then max out my 2024 Roth IRA, which I haven't started yet, and I won't start that until probably May, maybe April. $15,000 emergency fund. Right now, it started at $49.24, and so it's 32% of the way there. I haven't put anything in yet this month or this year. So the first goal I'm working on is to finish the 2023 Roth IRA. So for 2023, the maximum you can put into a Roth IRA if you're under, I think it's if you're under 55, it's $6,500. And so I started the year with $500 in there, which meant there was $6,000 remaining to put into that to finish this off. And so I'm going to add in what I deposited in January, which I don't remember what that was. January was $1,388.75. So we'll put that here. $1,388.75. Okay, and so that brings it up to a balance of $1,888.75, or 29.06%. So that's awesome. I did not put anything into there. Nothing into the 2024 IRA. Net worth. I have not updated my net worth tracker yet. So I will do that probably in another video. I don't have the values yet, so I will do that once I get those numbers, and then I will update that both on the net worth tracker as well as on the goal tracker for these last two. But for right now, at least we made progress on the 2023 Roth IRA at about 30% almost, which is awesome. I do also have other goals that are not financial related. I have a goal and habit tracker, and so I've got financial goals, health and wellness, personal goals, and professional goals that I track on this spreadsheet. It also has a space for daily habit tracker. I didn't use it in January, so I need to be better about using it in February. But for right now, as far as financial goals, the 4 that I had was put at least $1,000 into Roth IRA, start a financial focus book, which I did start. I started reading The Psychology of Money, and then I had no spend for groceries and no spend at Costco. Health and wellness goals, I did not do either of the goals that I meant to do in January, so hopefully for February I will be better about that. A lot of it though was because I was traveling and then I was sick for 2 weeks. It was hard. I couldn't go to a dance class with being sick, but really no excuse as far as move your body 4 times per week, except for just that, when you're sick, you don't always want to go work out and do things. A lot of time I was just sleeping. Personal goals, read one non-finance book. I did do this. I read Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. It was a really cute book. I really enjoyed it. I read it while I was sick, so that was easy to get through. It took me about a day and a half to get through. It was cute. Consume less TV and social media. I would say I did not really do this. I also, I blame being sick for this one too, just because, when you're sick, you just kind of want to, lay in bed and be cozy. Let's see, professional goals. I have an Etsy shop. I reopened it. I haven't really posted much on there, but I do plan on doing that at some point. Monthly to-dos. Again, changed insurance provider, canceled Netflix, and paid my bills before I left for my work trip. And so that is everything there. So the goals achieved. I like this section, goals set versus achieved, and then the breakdown of the achieved goals. So most of my achieved goals were my financial goals. And then over in the set versus achieved, I didn't set any spiritual goals. Financial goals, set 4, achieved 4, which is awesome. Health and wellness, I did not achieve any. Personal goals, achieved 1 out of the 2, and same with professional. So that is it for January for the budget wrap up and goal wrap up. So let me know down below how your month went and how the year is going so far for you. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you haven't seen my February budget yet, I'll link it below or in the cards so that you can see how I am budgeting for February. Otherwise, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!